What if everything you thought you knew about Laura Farms was built on half-truths, clickbait headlines, and a comment section that ran wild? In the middle of Nebraska cornfields, a young farmer picked up a camera and started sharing her daily life. Simple, honest, unfiltered. But as her audience exploded, so did the rumors. Questions about her money, her marriage, even supposed tragedies began circulating online. Some fans defended her, others believed the worst. So what's actually real and what's pure internet fiction? Today, we're cutting through the noise to uncover what's really going on behind the Laura Farms rumors. It didn't take long for everything to change. One minute, Laura was just documenting daily farm life in Nebraska, checking crops, running equipment, figuring things out as she went. The next, thousands, then hundreds of thousands were watching. Her channel, Laura Farms, grew fast because it felt real. No over-the-top drama, no fake country aesthetic, just raw, hands-in-the-dirt farming. And that authenticity is exactly what made people connect. But here's the thing about fast growth online. When attention spikes, scrutiny follows. Viewers started looking closer. They analyzed her equipment. They questioned how she could afford certain upgrades. They speculated about how much YouTube was paying her. The comment section slowly shifted from "this is so cool to watch" to "something doesn't add up." And once that seed of doubt gets planted, it spreads fast. Local coverage describes her as a fifth-generation farmer in Hamilton County, Nebraska, working alongside her husband, Grant. That's verifiable, that's documented. But online, facts often get drowned out by assumption. Suddenly, normal business decisions turned into conspiracy theories. Normal farm growth turned into secret backing. And regular success turned into suspicion. The truth? Rapid visibility makes anyone a target. And Laura's straightforward, open style made people feel like they had full access to her life, even when they didn't. And that feeling of access is where the rumors really began to take shape. The moment sponsorships entered the picture, the tone online started to shift. Because for some viewers, brand deals are normal. For others, they're proof that something isn't authentic anymore. And once Laura began partnering with agricultural companies, a new narrative quietly formed in the background. People started asking if the farm was being funded behind the scenes, if equipment was being given to her, if certain videos were secretly ads disguised as daily life. The logic was simple. If she's growing fast and working with brands, then maybe the whole thing is carefully orchestrated. But that assumption skips over one major detail. Farming has always been business-driven. Long before YouTube, farms partnered with seed companies, equipment dealers, and suppliers. That's how agriculture works. The difference now is visibility. When those partnerships appear on camera, viewers feel like they're uncovering something hidden, even when it's clearly disclosed. A hashtag or brand mention suddenly becomes evidence. And in today's internet culture, perception spreads faster than clarification. What makes this more complicated is that Laura's content still feels casual and unscripted. She doesn't present herself like a polished corporate spokesperson. So when sponsorships appear in an otherwise down-to-earth vlog, it creates tension in the audience's mind. Real farmer or influencer? Authentic or strategic? But that tension says more about modern audiences than it does about her. And just when the sponsorship talk started cooling down, a different rumor wave began building. Then the conversation shifted to something even more sensitive: money and land. And in farming, that's where things get serious fast. When Laura talked openly about purchasing farmland and whether land actually makes financial sense, viewers didn't just listen, they calculated. They estimated acres. They guessed loan amounts. They speculated about revenue from YouTube. And suddenly, her personal business decisions became internet debate material. Here's the reality most people outside agriculture don't see. Farmland is expensive, but it's also often financed long-term, structured through loans, family operations, or reinvested profits. That's normal in farming. But online, normal doesn't trend, impossible does. So instead of seeing a young farmer expanding her operation, some people saw a mystery. There's no way she could afford that. Something's not being said. Those comments started stacking up, and once financial doubt enters the chat, it rarely leaves quietly. Because money triggers emotion. It triggers comparison, it triggers skepticism. The more transparent she tried to be about the realities of farm economics, the more some viewers read between lines that weren't there. What gets lost in all of this is context. Farming isn't a viral side hustle, it's a capital-heavy, risk-filled industry. Weather can wipe out profit, equipment can break at the worst time, loans are common, risk is constant. But on the internet, nuance doesn't travel well, suspicion does. And just when the financial theory started circulating, the rumors took a darker turn. Just when the speculation about money started to slow down, the tone online shifted into something far more dramatic. Out of nowhere, videos began appearing with emotional thumbnails and heavy titles hinting that something devastating had happened. Words like heartbreaking and shocking update were suddenly attached to her name. And the strange part? Most of those uploads didn't cite clear sources. They relied on vague narration, recycled clips, and a lot of dramatic pauses. This is the darker side of internet growth. Once a creator becomes recognizable, their name becomes clickable. And on platforms driven by watch time, emotional triggers outperform calm explanations every single time. So even if nothing major happened, the suggestion that something might have happened is enough to drive views. For viewers who only see the title and a few comments, it's easy to assume there's truth behind it. Why would someone post this if it wasn't real? That question alone keeps rumors alive. And because Laura's content is personal, she shares long days, tough harvests, moments of exhaustion, people already feel emotionally invested. That emotional investment makes dramatic claims feel believable, even when there's no verified evidence. The algorithm doesn't pause to fact-check. It rewards engagement. And once one dramatic upload gains traction, others follow. But here's where things get even more complicated. Because not all of the confusion came from random drama channels. Some of it came from fake accounts pretending to be her. While some rumors were fueled by dramatic uploads, others came from something far more deliberate: impersonation. As Laura's following grew, so did the number of fake accounts using her name and photos. These weren't harmless fan pages. Some were actively messaging followers, hinting at exclusive updates, private conversations, even fake giveaways. And when money or personal information enters the picture, that's when things get serious. Laura has publicly warned her audience that she has only one official account and that she does not privately message fans asking for anything. That alone tells you this wasn't a small issue. If someone has to repeatedly clarify, it means people were being misled. And once scammers are involved, misinformation spreads faster because there's incentive behind it. Think about how easily a fake account could invent a storyline. They could tease personal drama. They could suggest a secret crisis. They could imply relationship trouble. And if even a handful of people believe it, screenshots start circulating. Comments start asking questions. Suddenly, a completely fabricated claim feels real simply because it's being discussed. This is where the rumor cycle becomes self-sustaining. A fake message sparks curiosity. Curiosity fuels speculation. Speculation turns into content, and content becomes proof for the next wave of viewers. By the time the dust settles, the original source, the impersonator, is barely mentioned, and that opens the door to the most persistent speculation of all: her personal life. The moment viewers feel emotionally connected to a creator, their curiosity shifts from content to personal life. And that's exactly what happened here. Laura doesn't just film crops and machinery, she occasionally shares moments with her husband, Grant, and glimpses of their life working side by side. That's enough for audiences to feel invested, but it's also enough for speculation to start the second something feels different. If Grant appears less in a few uploads, comments start asking why. If Laura seems tired or distracted, people assume tension. If she focuses more on solo work, theories begin forming in real time. And from there, it doesn't take much for short-form clips or random channels to push the narrative further, hinting at trouble without presenting any solid evidence. What makes this especially tricky is that viewers only see edited fragments of a much larger life. A 20-minute video represents maybe a fraction of a day. But online, those fragments get treated like a full documentary. Silence becomes suspicious. Normal privacy becomes hiding something. In reality, farming is demanding. Seasons change. Workloads shift. People grow. None of that automatically signals drama. But once an audience starts looking for cracks, they'll find them, even if they aren't there. And that's the pattern that ties everything together: fast growth, emotional investment, and an algorithm that rewards speculation over patience. Here's what really makes this story fascinating. None of the biggest rumors came from confirmed events. They came from momentum. When a creator like Laura builds a platform around authenticity, viewers feel unusually close to her life. They watch planting season struggles. They see harvest pressure. They hear honest thoughts about risk and uncertainty. That kind of openness builds trust, but it also builds expectation, and expectation can turn into entitlement fast. Some viewers begin to believe they deserve constant updates. If something isn't explained, they assume it's being hidden. If a video feels shorter or less energetic, they assume something's wrong. The algorithm amplifies that reaction. The more people comment with concern or suspicion, the more the content spreads. It becomes a feedback loop where speculation fuels reach, and reach fuels more speculation. The truth behind the rumors isn't a secret scandal waiting to be uncovered. It's a modern internet pattern playing out in real time. A young farmer shares her journey. The audience grows. Outside channels chase clicks. Fake accounts attempt scams. Viewers fill in blanks with their own narratives. And before long, ordinary life feels like a mystery series. If there's anything to learn from this, it's how quickly perception can outpace proof. And in a world driven by views, sometimes the loudest story isn't the most accurate. It's just the most clickable. So what's the real truth behind the rumors surrounding Laura Farms? It's not a hidden scandal or some dramatic secret waiting to explode. It's the reality of what happens when an ordinary person gains extraordinary attention. Growth brings opportunity, but it also attracts doubt, impersonators, and click-driven narratives. In a space where emotion spreads faster than evidence, even silence can be turned into a storyline. Laura's journey shows how quickly authenticity can be questioned once an audience gets big enough. And maybe the bigger question isn't about her at all, it's about how easily we believe rumors when the algorithm keeps pushing them.